My name is Matt Southworth, and I work for the Friends Committee on National Legislation. I am a foreign policy program assistant. That basically means I work to end the war in Afghanistan and the war in Iraq.
What gives you hope? What keeps you hopeful?
That's a good
one. This war has been going on for 9 years, and it just seems, and it's so painful for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The soldiers, the families, the Iraqi people, the people of Afghanistan, the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, what in the world are we doing there, and how come we're not out of there yet? How come we're not out?
Well, the thing that keeps me positive, the thing that keeps me hopeful, is knowing that while the challenge in front of us is daunting, it's not insurmountable. And we, through engagement and through having conversations with each other, can convince people around us that they have the control to change policy. We have to do it in a strategic way. We have to be smart about our advocacy. We have to separate out actions and demonstrations from actual lobbying, because they're different things. So talking about, what's that?
I'll just say more about demonstrations and lobbying, and what does it mean to be smart about the advocacy?
Sure. So being smart about the advocacy means not only knowing your member of Congress, knowing a little bit about how they feel on the issue, but asking them something that pertains to them. Far too often, as peace advocates, we go into a member of Congress's office and we say, we spend way too much on military, and we need to move some of that $700 billion, take some of that from the pie, and put that over toward education and healthcare. And that's something we would all agree with, but that's not how the budgeting process works. So you have to go into your members of Congress office and say, we want you to eliminate these things from that $700 billion. So that we can free up capital to go toward education, to go toward these other priorities that we have, such as healthcare. So that's what I mean by being smart and being strategic. It's not enough to really have a cookie-cutter ask and say, just end the wars. Of course, that's what we want, but that's our end. And we can't confuse our means with our ends. Of course, our means have to reflect our ends, but we can't confuse our means with our ends. Saying just end the war tomorrow might be something that member of Congress aspires to do, but it might be completely politically untenable, both because of their position in Congress, but also because it's just not on the table for them to do. So being smart and being strategic, that's what that means. In terms of why are we still there, I think there are a lot of interests at play. And in general, it seems to me that people leaders, our congressional leaders, our professional politicians, the administration now and in the past, don't know how to get out. And they don't know how because they're not listening to our community. So we need to be in the halls of Congress and lobbying the executive branch as well and telling them how to get out, because we know how. We have people who have worked on the ground, MCC and a number of others, for decades. We know how to get out. We know what it takes to diminish that foreign military presence in Afghanistan and Iraq, and we know why that's important. So we need others to listen to that. So doing that in a smart and strategic way is how we end these wars. And I think right now people have to maintain hope. They have to stay hopeful. And as our executive secretary Joe Volk says, hope isn't something you have, it's something you do. So that is what I would call on people to do. We have a spring lobby weekend in March 19th through 22nd, that we're offering to young adults, and it's open to everyone. We want to bring people to Washington, D.C. so that we can have these conversations about Afghanistan and about why it's time to end the war, why it's time to bring soldiers home, and really reevaluate what our strategy is in Afghanistan. I think it's very important. So we're bringing people from around the country to Washington to lobby their member of Congress, because their member of Congress makes policies. The member of Congress is the person who we need to make sure we put pressure on to keep government accountable and responsive. So that's the purpose of the lobby weekend. And FCNL believes that war is not the answer. We maintain that message in our lobbying. We maintain that message in our interactions every day.